Hello, beautiful people of YouTube. My name is Shreds, and in today's video, we're gonna go over one of my favorite core exercises. Now, you may have seen this reel that got about 1 million views, and it's me doing an overhead carry with 100 pounds. People found this really impressive, and there were a lot of people that thought, oh my gosh, your back, you're gonna break your back, you're gonna herniate a disc. Don't worry. I'm gonna show you today how to do this exercise safely so that you can progress up to some impressive weight without hurting your back. And it all starts off with learning the proper technique for getting the weight over your head. You don't want to just yank it and blow your back out. You want to learn how to use your hips and do a clean to press. So the first portion of this exercise is just getting the weight off the floor. So I like to squat all the way down with my arms straight, okay? I'm not keeping my arm bent at all. Imagine you have a noodle attached to your shoulder. A noodle, it's got no power. You're not moving the weight with your arm. You are simply grabbing the weight with your arm. So this is as straight as possible, and I'm squeezing the weight. The first portion of training this exercise is going from here, keeping my torso upright, coming up, and popping the weight. Notice I'm shrugging in the shoulder in the trap. I am extending the hips, and I'm knocking the weight up like that. What it looks like at full speed is this. Now obviously it looks kind of clunky, but that's because after you practice this and you get the explosion, then you want to add in the catch. Now obviously that's an exaggerated form of the catch. When you watch that video of me doing it with 100 pounds, I did not catch it down here. We'll get to that. But once you have learned how to explode, you want to go from this point, and imagine you're trying to get your shoulder underneath where the weight is. You're dropping down to catch it. Then you can stand and press. So putting it all together, my arm is straight, I am exploding. Once I get a feel for how it explodes while keeping my arm straight, then at the top of that explosion, I'm dropping under the weight and catching it. Standing up and pressing. Notice, when you stand up, you can use some of that hip drive to press the weight. You don't have to do a strict press. And that's what I use in the video where I do 100 pounds, is I'm throwing the weight with my hips and then finishing it with my shoulder. So to practice this, straight arm. Imagine you have a rope with a hook on it. There's no power in the arm. We're not curling the weight. Okay, if you start curling the weight, you can get away with it when it's light. But as soon as we get a significant amount of weight, you're gonna break down. So learn how to use the hips, drive the hips. Notice that wasn't arm, that was all hip. All right, once you got that, you can press. What it should look like over time is this. That's the movement. From here, exploding through the hips, dropping under, pressing the weight. That's when we start the actual carry. Now, before you start using any form of intense weight, slowly move up. So you'll notice I'm doing 20 pounds right here as a warm-up. 20 pounds, go to 25 or 30 pounds. Gradually work your way up as you feel comfortable. You always want to maintain upright posture. You don't want to start off here and throw it back. That's where you're going to start having issues with your spine. So starting down low, press. That's it. This is only 50 pounds, but you can see it's all in the hips. It's none of my upper body. All I'm doing with the upper body is catching and stabilizing the weight. Now we're gonna get some actual weight off, and I'm gonna show you the carries. Let's see here. Let's go for, we'll just grab the bungos. Everybody was saying, fake weights, fake weights. Not here, bro. All right. As you can tell, that's a real 100-pounder. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna carry it. When I carry it, my goal is to walk as smooth as possible, okay? None of this like clunky swagger. Like you see people walk with swagger. It's not what we're doing. We are smooth. Okay, you want your eyes to stay in the same spot. You're trying to stabilize as much weight as possible overhead. So by bouncing around, you're gonna make your job a whole lot harder. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over the breathing and the bracing, because that's the most important part of this exercise. All the people that are worried about you hurting your back are because they don't understand how the core works and how to brace properly to prevent any sort of injuries from arising. When you're lifting a weight like this, your belly button is where you want to focus, because when we take that big breath in, I'm pushing the belly button out. And then as the belly button is out, that's because my diaphragm is pushing out against it to inhale. Now I'm gonna hold my breath and imagine pulling your belly button in. Your musculature within your abdomen is bracing down on top of your diaphragm, creating what we call intra-abdominal pressure. This is the key to avoiding injuries. If you can do that under load, you're gonna protect the spine by creating rigidity within the core. Watch my belly button. That's the maneuver right there. So whenever I take a big breath in, I'm pushing the belly button out. That's braced. That is how you create pressure to protect your spine. Now let's do an actual rep here so you can see what I'm talking about real time. Now when you get to the end here, slow down, widen out your base, take a deep breath in, stay as tall as possible, and control the weight down. Ironically, that's one of the hardest parts of the exercise, because you just want to, especially after doing a lot of weight for a long distance, your shoulder's burnt. You just want to drop it. Don't damage the weights. Have some control. If you're not strong enough to control it down, you're not strong enough to lift it. We're gonna do the same thing going back that way, except I'm gonna use the other hand now. That's it for the overhead carry. Thank you for watching. I hope that you implement this into your core training, your shoulder training. It's a great exercise for developing stability and coordination. If you enjoyed the video, show your support by leaving a like, dropping a comment down below, and subscribing to the channel for more. Be sure to turn on those post notifications and check back on the next video. My name is Shreds. I hope that you have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next one.